Games being test cases. Would this
Yeah.
fit that?
Yeah, benchmarks, right? Like tonight, obviously, again, we got them on a back-to-back, and I think it was 3 and 4 for them, so got a little bit of an advantage as far as energy. But you go Edmonton, Winnipeg, New Jersey. Those are Colorado before that. That's a tough run of games, and I thought we played really well in most of them. Speaking of energy, I thought tonight. And the players know it more than the coaches do, but you get in late from Winnipeg, or from Edmonton, excuse me, with a time zone change, and I don't think they got to bed till 4 in the morning, and yesterday's kind of a wash. So today coming in, I felt that I'm not playing, it's just your internal clock's kind of messed up. And I thought we played a good first period, and then, they put it on us, but we stuck together and we were able to keep our structure, and obviously Gibby, it's a great 200th win for him, and he earned it. And he had to deal with a lot of rubber, both in his pads and his equipment and at the net. They had a lot of shots directed at our net, and we did a good job, I think, defending the second half at once, and he did a great job stopping the first ones.
Talk about that stretch, winning 4 or 5 against playoff teams. It sort of feels like this is a big moment for this group to understand where they are and what they could be doing, if they continue playing the way they are. Do you kind of feel that?
Yeah, I think winning creates a lot of confidence and believability. I know that even when we had lost the game in Edmonton after we came back and tied it, nobody was really satisfied. It wasn't like, okay, at least we had like a good showing. I think they have an expectation to win. I'm not sure if that was the case a year ago, but you can feel it, you know it. I think the standard's been set a little bit higher. I think the players understand what the expectations are from the coaching staff, and how they have to play within that structure to execute that. And again, we have great goaltending, and our goaltending has, I think, kind of been our backbone to our identity. Defensively, we don't have great stats, but our goaltending is really good. And the one thing that we do a good job of tonight, I don't think we're very good at it, is the inner slot shots. I think we do a pretty good job defending those. And like I've said before, I think our offense will pick up. I think more consistently. It's been sporadic, but we've got to try and get more consistency out of it.
Greg, you talked about, like I said, the stretch has been impressive, but it seemed like the quality of you guys' play has been occurring before this stretch even. Did it just take time, or what did this group just kind of finally fully embrace what you guys needed to do in order to win games or to succeed more regularly? Or in terms of the concepts you're trying to put forth?
Yeah, I think that the messaging and the strategy that we put together last year, obviously it wasn't executed. I think there's been a talent upgrade, particularly in the back end. I mean, Truber has played a ton of games, DeMullen has. I think Ratko's playing really well. And when you have those older guys, Cam had a big part of this as well, being a mentor, but when those older guys are able to provide some mentorship for the young guys, I think it kind of reinforces the messages. They not only do it on the ice, but they do it off the ice. We're still a work in progress up front. I think, as you know, Stromey's Lions kind of been driving us. When we do get more production out of the bottom lines, I think, like I said, we'll have more consistency offensively. But if I was going to point to a particular time, I would say it was when we came back from that trip out east to New York, and I sat down with the older guys and said, okay, how do you want to manage this in terms of creating a standard and holding accountability? And I think they kind of took ownership of it at that point. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what our record's been since then, but I'm pretty sure we've had a winning record since we got back. And like I said, when you start winning, you get more confidence, and you kind of get the bounces too.
Frank, with one of the more eventful days with the contract extension and then 3 points, what was it like seeing his game tonight?
I mean, it's great. I really am happy for him and his family. I mean, he personifies a guy that comes up out of nowhere. He's a college hockey player. I believe he was a free agent signing. He kicked around the minors for a few years and get booted around a couple of NHL teams. And I think everybody recognizes and identifies his compete level in the skating. He's an elite skater, and then he's always had a good shot, but he's converting that now to being a reliable goal scorer. I think anybody that gets over 25 goals in the NHL could be considered a goal scorer of today's generation. And Frankie hit 37 to 38 last year. He started off slow this year, and I think he's gonna be another 25 plus goal scorer this year. I think he's gonna get him in bunches. And I'm sure the contract's going to take some weight off his head as far as where his next stop is, because he's going to be with us for another 3 years, which is awesome for us, obviously for him and for the organization.
Do you feel like Troy's leadership on the ice has come up? It seems like when you guys need a big play, when things are stale, he's coming up with, I mean, late in the second, late in the third, definitely. Any other points throughout the season? Do you feel like he's kind of becoming a little bit closer to like a game-breaking type player, I guess?
Yeah, I think Troy's found his game. Like we had these conversations last year. I think he felt because he was the highest paid player in the organization that he had to make a play every time he stepped on the ice, and he had to beat the same guy twice to add some flash to it. And that's a reflection of how confident he is. But we've been talking to him repeatedly about being efficient with his puck possessions and understanding that sometimes when you give the puck up and chase it down, it's a good thing. The goal in Winnipeg he scored late in the game was a reflection of that. And there's always a balance with these guys that have skill because they have the confidence to make plays. You don't want to discourage that. But I think he's discovered there's a percentage, risk versus reward percentage to how he's making plays at the offensive blue line, and he's getting rewarded for it. And then as we've been talking to all the guys, like particularly the offensive guys, if you work hard defensively and you win board battles, you're probably going to get the puck back quicker. And he's been outstanding with that too. So, and as he spoke to me in the past, like when you're doing well, you're playing well, your leadership credibility rises, right? Like it's hard to lead when you're struggling and you're in a slump. But he's really in a good spot, and I think he's not a loud rah-rah guy, but I think his style of play is reflecting that.
With Frank committing, for another 3 years, what does it mean to you as a coaching staff and to the room to have a guy that wants to be here and wants to contribute to making this thing grow from where it is right now?
Well, Frank made a comment in the summertime, I think it was an NHL article, about it's one of those profiles in the league, like where are the Ducks going to be? And Frankie had a very bold comment. He said, I want to be here, I want to be part of the rebuild, and I want to win now. Okay, so clearly he had a lot of belief in what we're doing here. His season last year reflected it, but he didn't have a lot of company in the 30-goal range, right? So he believed in it. He wasn't a 30-goal scorer. And I think by him making that comment, I think it created, to me, as a head coach, created a lot of belief that this guy's on board and he's our best player. And I think the other guys that heard it, because we talked about in our preseason meeting, I think they started to believe too, like, yeah, we can win this year. Why do we have to wait, right? Because the rebuilds do take time. But for him to say that and then be being locked into another 3-year contract is to me, it's a testimony about him and about the organization.
Zellweger and Hellison together today, 2 young guys, and then you got Dumoulin and Trouba together. What has kind of been your assessment in having those 2 veterans and then having the 2 young guys together?
Well, Dumoulin and Trouba, like, they're going against a hard matchup every night, right? Like, you've got, Kucherov coming at you, McDavid, and there's some tough matchups. And they're veteran guys. They've been to finals. Brian's won 2 Stanley Cups. And I say this, like, when you're in that, you've got that experience, the game's slower. They can defend, I think, more productively. They're proactive in their decision-making, and they're also calm under pressure. So there's a nice balance. They can handle that load, and the younger guys are going against, like, lesser competition. So I think they can gradually get comfortable with the game and not get swallowed up by it. So it's a real blessing to have those guys. And Racco, I think, is playing the best he's played since he's been here.
You're always looking for energy from the 4th line. What did you think of Nikita Nesterenko coming in tonight for his season debut?
I thought he was good in spurts. Like, he had to sit at times because of just the nature of the game and some matchups, but he's a skater. I thought he did a good job putting pressure on the puck. He was going to have to find his sweet spot, too, as far as what his role is going to be. But I thought he was good.
Thanks, bro.
Okay.